is going on? Morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's fine. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. Righty then. Boy, my background looks dark. Hey, Eileen, you're the first one, apparently. Morning. Yeah. Aaron, good to see you. And how's everybody doing? I think what we're going to do is cover anything new in RPG print, crowdfunding, typical stuff. Hey, Todd, Roger. And then I think to go over the any nominations and see, get some thoughts, maybe give some spotlight to those that were nominated. Ennies are a mixed bag. Some people appreciate them for what they are, and some people not care for them. Reason probably due to kind of the vetting process. Awards can always be a finicky thing. You know, what does it take to get into Ennies? What's their criteria for evaluating products? They probably get inundated. Hans Cummings was on Gaming and BS podcast a long time ago, who was instrumental in coordinating a lot of the efforts with behind the scenes. Provided a little bit of insight, but still think how things are chosen and wins is still kind of fuzzy, and it's it could be all subjective. It's like, and it is, yeah. Todd says, yeah, this year's nominations were very, and it's interesting to probably look at how the Ennies have changed over the years. When I was looking at the nominations for 2022, I was thinking back to the days when Pathfinder had dominated sometime in some of those. So are they not having things being submitted because they obviously have a decent sized user base? Or are the judges saying, well, just because you have a huge user base doesn't mean your products are. But one thing we can say, or we can hope we say, should be more factual and more concrete, is that the public votes. Or at least we submit a vote. I can only imagine that it's counted, tallied up properly, and results are silver winners that are announced at kind of. Become bad taste for major publishers to submit products because they sweep. Well, just not to submit because it's to be an indie spotlight. Sure, and that makes sense. I mean, guess what? Hey, spoilers, even Ken and Robin aren't in the podcast category. Another thing I want to talk about, and it's not with cynicism with the podcast category, but I think it's a piece of advice because I think they need a category for that. It's contributing to the hobby so much. To be overlooked is I think, a little short-sighted. And it's not being overlooked. There's a podcast category, but I think it can be reached. So Toddy, as I say, Todd and Any. That's what they're going to call. They're going to call Todd's Any nomination in the Toddy. He got a Toddy. The Spotlight Award is how I got. What product did you get it for, Todd? And I don't know if I knew that. If I had known that, every time that I would address you, going forward, it's going to be any winning publisher, designer. It's kind of like when you get knighted, and you're like Sir or Dame. You as any award winner, Todd Crapper. Kill Shot. I own that game. I haven't played it yet, but I own it. I did read it. Recommend Kill Shot if you want to check that. Also won Best Free Game for High Plains Samurai. I think I should have known that one. I think I backed that one. Pretty sure I backed it. I don't know if it was the Legends one, though. This guy. Or had any award winners in the chat. Crazy. You know, it's interesting to it'd be interesting to get your perspective, Todd, on the Ennies. Cause how many are a little cynical of it until maybe they win one? Or get out. Did back it anyway. So yeah, mixed reviews. Let's get into it, shall we? All right. First one we're gonna kick off. What are we gonna kick off? Let's see. What do I got? Let's start off with something like, I don't know, this maybe? All right. You know, I gotta say, Ennies or not, EN World does provide a lot of updates and news and industry stuff. Got people doing that on a daily basis, so why not beg, borrow, and steal from those guys? And I mean, best of ways. So if you like a lot of what you see here, make my job easier. It's no secret. I shame here. So check out EN World if you want to get updates and news and things of that nature. But if you do, then you probably won't tune into this because it'll be business, right? But nonetheless, first one starting off, download a free version of Mechborg, man. Now here's the thing. People are like, you know, Mechborg, it just, you know, I think they're just trying to be something that, you know, it's just over the top, and it's just not, I don't know. It's just not me, which is fine. Totally cool. I join you right now. Yeah, probably out in the woods. Oh, and speaking of which, yeah, do you guys get, you know, internet up there in Canada after that little blackout? But back to business. Come on, Todd. Download a free version of Mechborg. You can download for free bare bones edition of the rules, light, doom metal tabletop RPG Mechborg. Free version has much of the iconic graphic design and art removed. Also includes the introductory adventure Rot Black Sludge, and you must pronounce it as such. If you pronounce it any other way, then it loses its nuance. Right, so adventure Rot Black Sludge. If it is not the correct inflection, that is okay. But do your best, okay? It might take a little practice, but it comes from down here, okay? Rot Black Sludge. And you got to really tighten up those muscles when you do. So for those, and one person made up a good point, is that, you know, maybe it's just hard to read for some people, right? Because the aesthetics can be dark, and the typeset and font can be kind of all over the place. So it says the free plain text version of the world's loudest role-playing game, a bit more sensible, just as miserable. And you can get it on itch. Talks a little bit about Mechborg here. It's like a spiked flail to the face. It's like a spiked flail to the face, rules light, heavy, everything else. This is the Bare Bones edition's free, almost artless, and the typography and graphic design turned down from 11 all the way to a sensible 4 to 5. So free download. Or you can pay, or you can choose to pay what you want. But it says please don't. You choose to pay for it, but please don't. It's meant to be free. Isn't that awesome? Am I missing a link? Where do I go? Here? Itch? Open itch? This is the one I meant to open. Here we go. This is the official, hey, go get it. So here you go. Mechborg! There you go. You can get the rules without all the stuff, all the chaos. Chaos! Not bad. I'd have to pick that up. I don't think I have this. I think Mechborg was not free out of the gates, I don't think. Rot black sludge! All right, so there you go. Give it a whirl. See if you like it. You know, if you like Shadow of the Demon Lord, maybe like a much lighter rule set, then this may fit the bill. With its edginess, as I might. Let's see, what else do we want to check out? We'll just go down. Print news. All the news that's fit to print. Too legit to print. It's a short week. States, we had a holiday. Some of you might have even participated. Hope you have all your fingers. Starting at the top, Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook, CNC Monsters and Treasure, and Castle Keeper's Guide. So for those of you that love yourself some Castles and Crusades, this will be something that you all over. So the author, Charles Dunwoody, says he owns all these RPGs and heartily recommends each one, good value and good times and no regrets on any of these purchases. So the retail price is $25, $50, $60, $30 respectively. I round up. So it uses, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't say, but it's the Siege engine. Castles and Crusades has always been based on the Siege engine. So they've changed it, which I don't see any indication that they. I had the 3rd edition, maybe it was. Just never played it. Good. It's kind of it kind of mixes quite a bit of old school with some new school stuff. Like, has the standard kind of shoot ability array. Don't know if it changed. Maybe you know how some games change intelligence to smarts and stuff like that to kind of differentiate itself. But for each class, you have kind of a primary ability and a secondary. Exactly. I know somebody that's played it. But regardless, it's something that you like. See, it even says something like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition. What? Anyways, people that like Castles and Crusades love it, so might be something of an option. Don't remember if they have a quick player's guide that you can check too, but so basically, I'll just read the description for those of us that aren't overly savvy with the system, and I lost my mouse. Let's just plug it in and back again. So it says, imagine an Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 3 that had not ventured further into tactical battle map skills, feats, and dungeon punk, but instead continued with the story-rich ideas of 2E, bringing back many of the missing player character pieces from 1E, Assassin and Monk. You would end up with Castles and Crusades. the best parts of AD&D 1E, 2E, unified rolling mechanic, and ascending arts. Genius gets healing spells, and clerics and druids spell lists go up to 9th level, rounded out by the wizard. These 4 classes cast spells, the rest rely. Box set of adventures include settlements, wilderness treks, dungeons, followed by 2 adventure sets. Lord Games, I know Stephen Schnall, very good guy, is based in and prints in the USA, so shipping delays are reduced, at least on the front end. Active military and veterans can also contact them directly for more info, as they have traditionally offered a substantial discount to vets, which I did not know, and I'm glad I read that. So that's cool. And I think Trollord Games might even be their own printer. No, Stephen had invested into their own, the printer, the bindery, or what it was, but they were investing in that. And that was years ago, so maybe they print stuff. So, hey, Wayne, good morning to you, buddy. See ya. Secondly, old school essentials official adventure scenario: the Isle of the Plangent Mage. So the inside joke on the Discord, if you do that, get over to, I don't know if I have how to RPG, but you can go to gmmastermind.com/Discord, get you to our Discord. And the joke over there is which post the infographic for all the old school essentials tomes to determine what covers what and what's what. Gavin Norman, good guy, really did a great product. Might have missed the mark with how everything is like been re-released, repackaged. There's things that have been consolidated in one book, and then there's options to get an individual tomes. So it's nonetheless it's a good game. It's all based on basically an expert from. So Isle of the Plangent Mage was by Don Stroud. I've not met Don, but I've interacted with. It's from the Drink Spin Run podcast back with him and Adam Muskavich. It's fun. So Don's been around a little while and has contributed to things like Mothership, obviously OC. So it looks like this one. So they're touting the rules tome and this Isle of the Planet. Let's see. And it talks a little bit about the rules tome, but that's been out for a little while. That's not new. It's just another printing they've done. But the Isle of the Plangent Mage includes a village and massive dungeon called the Undertower, built within a rock column supporting a small island. The Undertower includes the Hydrolift, a crystalline disc resting in a tube upon the water, which pumps, raise, and lower via a box on the disc. Magical observation windows that keep out water and gases, and musical locks. Most doors are unlocked via notes, either using the sound key or sung, whistled, or made with any instrument. See animal mutation. Table is especially fun. Sees cool art stuff that put on some of those books too. Diogo Nogueira had done at least one adventure for OSC and one Kickstarter. Probably right. So OSC is the edition of B. Swain says. All right. Got a job on the Garbage Barge and Vampire Cruise by Amanda Lee. So system OSR with attitude. System is OSR with attitude. So awesome softcover, digest sized, ship locations and adventures both come in at $11.90 each. So the maps are hand drawn, well detailed, and full for PCs to poke into. The way to picture these two sailing excursions is to stand on board and take. Your PC works on the Garbage Barge. You will find so many random tables: raccoons, the scent scald, smell-based bard, pneumatic tube that punches through to new areas, but also through the hull. The chance to play as a bubble-encased floating fish called a speaking betta. Terrifying monsters like the jelly shark The Uber goat. The Uber goat. Uber goat? Is that like greatest of all time? So just reading this one will expand your mind and make you smile. Vampire Cruise is even harder on PCs. The PCs are on the maiden cruise of a discount cruise liner, along with a mysterious cult and owners who really want them. You will experience random tables, hidden passages behind the walls alongside rats, vampires, vampire sharks, cultists, and cruise activities. Hello, I'm Julie, and I'm your cruise director. The best part of is the PCs might take a job on the garbage barge to get the money scraped together to go on the vampire cruise. What a life. And how many people that are my age will take the vampire cruise and turn it into a very twisted Love Boat episode? You're welcome for the inspiration. Troika, Slow Slate of Plankton Downs by Melsonian Arts Council. System. Well-made, scary Dr. Seuss sci-fi fantasy 2D6. So, Troika, what is it, the Numinous edition? Sail golden barges, let's see, like sailing. Barges, ships, must be the theme of the day. With a unique initiative system that introduces a bit of fog of war to amazing PC backgrounds and wild settings. This game has it all. I don't know much about Troika, but it's there you go. I don't know. And then the Slow Slate of Plankton Downs is, let's see, PC's like a parchment witch, Rhino Man, and a thinking engine take a trip on a barge during which murders take place and entire jaws are stolen from misfortunate passengers. Ooh, yikes. Only they could solve the mystery, and some locations use to transport climbers up a massive wall. Elegant and sleek rules, an amazing setting, unique and fantastic backgrounds for your character, and useful map. This one a winner. Other settings for the system allow you to play a pre-dinosaur creature in one, a student wizard sans barista in another. Son. Troika's got it going on. Spaces. Good stuff. See above. Oh, your audio. The period. Oh no. I'm still here. Still here. Am I here? I'm here. Still here. It busted out. Can you do a refresh? Is it for everybody? I get levels over on my end. That's not saying it's not us. I don't know. What's going on here? Pocket so I can hear it from my phone. Yeah, I got audio here. Bye. Hey, thanks for Roger. Now, before people hit the panic button and I'm like, stuff's not working, make sure you refresh. All right. It might be 3 to 5 seconds in general, so we can hear you, but you're fidgeting from foot to foot and it makes you cut out. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this is the problem. Here, why don't I bet you my volume was really low. Dude, I had my volume like off. How about now? Sorry, guys. So you know, I should just have a checklist and always keep it in front of me and do it. What was probably happening is my mic was probably picking me up. But when I do audio editing, I have my speaker monitors on. And when I have my speaker monitors on, that's no good going back into the mic, so I can get a feedback loop. So I turned down my mic and never turned it back up. So I apologize. That really sucks. This first half of this video sucks bad. Anyways, and if I move since it was so farther down, the gain was it would only pick it up if I was talking like right into it. So that would do it. Just have to turn it up. All right. It's going to be better going forward, I guarantee. Anyways, second one, third one. What are we on? Third one, fourth one. Last one. Lex Arcana Core Rulebook. A system unique with multiple types of dice rolled. It's a hardcover rulebook and setting supplement. Lex Arcana. Looks pretty. This is by Ares Games. And then this is also Egyptus. So this person writes, I really enjoy the One Ring. And the main designer on the game is Francesco Nepotillo. Lex Arcana is another game he works on, so I decided to check on that one as well, and I'm glad I did. This is the author of the article. Excuse me. I'll be the first to admit that I don't have a clue how to pronounce all the Latin in the book, but the setting is well detailed and breathtaking in scope, while the action is personal and takes place in mud and sand against the supernational magical, probably supposed to be supernatural, magical and just plain violent enemies of a long-lived Roman Empire. PCs are custodes, wardens of the cohors Auxilia Arcana, imperial agents sent on missions to the most distant and dangerous corners of the Roman Empire and beyond. They investigate terrifying threats, recover lost relics, unearth forgotten secrets, and fight legendary supernatural creatures like minotaurs and sphinxes. Some use divination magic, some talk, all of them fight. 12 pre-generated character sheets, wide and detailed rules of the make and advanced custodes. Advice for the GM. Named the Demiurge. Detailed ancient world bestiary. 2 extensive introductory adventures, The Long Winter Nights and The Mothers of Cenobom. Okay, well, if you like Roman role-playing games, then this is one you're going to want to check out. He picked up Egyptus because the mythical Egypt intrigued me. And for the mummies. The fantasy world seems at the same time familiar but also alien, with PCs immersed in their culture and the protection of its interests against magical threats. So much going on in this game. This is this. Need a link all their affiliate links. So there you go. There's the print stuff, crowdfunding. Let's get to that. Epic Encounters, local legends from Steamforged Games for 5th edition. Money in pounds. RPG source books and accessories. So the popular pledge is £131 for the Tavern Book, NPC Book, Pub Crawl, Adventure Book, 10 Tavern Maps, 60 NPC cards, 10 Tavern Game Rules cards, 10 Tavern Game Sheets, 38 miniatures, encounter booklet with 10 battle maps, dice, GM screen, and more. So they did provide something for Free RPG Day this past year called Epic Encounters Chasm of the Duergar Cult. So this is from them. Interesting. Check that out. Sounds like they have an interesting approach to design. Oh, and it's a late pledge, so it's already over. Oops, but you can late pledge. It's funded. Shocker. Interesting. Oh, okay. Cool. Next one. Wasteland Sagas. Role-playing in the ruins of the apocalypse. Why does this look familiar? Did I go over this once? Maybe. 12 days to go as of this recording. 3,000 gold, 3,400 hours. It's funded. I'd play the video, but I don't want to. That's the good and bad about video, right? If I don't play it, I won't see it. But what else are you going to put up there? Little synopsis from the book. Looks like a little narrative there. Story. What is the Wasteland Sagas? Here we go. Wasteland is a post-apocalyptic game where players create characters that are trying to survive and make difference in the world. It takes inspiration from games like Overworld and Fallout and mashes it up in a fantastic homage. Or homage. The game mechanics are fun, fast, and easy to learn. The game takes place 50 or more years after a worldwide meltdown. So 2070? The details vary depending on who you ask. Our world certainly went down the crapper and fast. It is believed that there were nuclear explosions, biological weapons, pandemics, and natural disasters. Pretty much if it was something terrible that could happen, it did. Civilization was given the 1-2 punch and has been limping on since then. The world is in chaos. Over time, mutations have sprung up. Science has been either lost and rediscovered or bastardized. Hope seems bleak, but not completely gone. These are where the characters come in. So, ability array: strength, con, agility, will, charisma, intelligence, tech, hit points, toxicity, defense, shock, initiative, perception, damage, luck, experience, a buttload of skills, and then non-leveled skills. Weapons, armor. That's the character sheet. Did Hish do the graphics for this? I wonder. It looks like kind of his style, maybe. I know this artist. I don't know who did it, but I know it. I've recognized that art. The Wastelanders Guidebook, NPC book. The Wastelanders Guidebook will be a world-setting book. Cover the region that has been created to aid any game master. I've not played an apocalyptic role-playing game, ever. It has interested me. There's a few out there. I don't know. The NPC book, the world. Some background mutants are involved. Oh, no. Some androids, maybe? Might be worth checking out. There we go. A modest goal. Probably for a pretty decent game. All right. What's up, Harrigan? Eileen, you're going to run apocalyptic. Todd says post-apocalyptic games are all fine, but I'm interested in a game that helps create the apocalypse. Game ends when you've survived the collapse. Which one we got next here? Barge RPG. Hey, Matty Q. Barge RPG is funded. It's got 11 days to go as of this recording. Welcome to Barge RPG, an all-ages, genre-agnostic role-playing game where you can harness the power of unique archetypes to weave the story elements together and drive the adventure forward. Our Bard RPG system is inspired by timeless literary and psychological concepts, which allow players to learn classic storytelling methods while the tale progresses. The guidebook is filled with everything you need to create and tell your story, including streamlined system guide and storytelling tips, full-color illustrations, intuitive character sheets, 36 unique archetypal combinations, with an archetype quiz to help you choose. Creative, fun, and fun for the whole family. D6 system uses unique mechanics to encourage reflection, mindful action, and collaborative storytelling. Will sub-archetypes represent the inner motivations that drive you and the way you see the world? They give you special actions directly linked to your motivational themes. Choose from the rebel, nomad, leader, innocent, hero, or creator. Ability sub-archetypes represent the way you interact with the world and the people you meet. They also determine the strengths in your action. Stack: physical, social, technical, and supernatural. You can choose from artist, inventor, magician, explorer, jester, caregiver, and sage. An artist and investor is one. Okay, cool. There's the character sheet. Pretty. Simple. Hey, William. Good to see you. So definitely, I would say a story game, maybe, kind of, right? Emphasizes a lot of story. Story game. Like, isn't all games, like RPGs, had a story? Maybe not. No, there's a difference. Story threads are elements of the story which carry narrative weight, can be leveraged for plot progression. Plot points are an expendable resource collectively gathered and spent by the party. These can be used for group leveling, evolving an archetype, boosting actions, or invoking the all-powerful plot twist. Story wheel. For complex and climactic challenges, use the story wheel mechanic. Story wheel is made up of many parts and will turn with each successful action you perform. If the wheel is fully turned, then that challenge has been met. But be careful, for some actions may turn the wheel backwards. Interesting take on clocks, a little bit maybe. You can play in two different formats: classic, long-running campaign, or short-form story map. Okay, well, it might be interesting to check out. Background in cultural psychology. Some of the contributors. Wow, good group of individuals involved. Good amount. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. They have a YouTube channel. Check them out for examples of play if you are so inclined. Put a link in there. Give them some love. All right. What else do we got? Bard. By the axe. By this axe, not by the axe. By this axe. Encyclopedia of Dwarven Civilization. From Autark. $10,000 goal, fully funded at $33K. Todd's involved with this. Well, then it's got to be good. Any award-winning Todd Crapper is involved in this project. Now, in full disclosure, if you don't like Todd's work, there are probably other people involved in this too. So don't just disregard it because of Todd. I got to make sure Todd's head doesn't get too overinflated. You're welcome, Todd. All right. So for centuries, the stout and cunning dwarven people have delved vast vaults in the Maniri and jutting mountains, gathering rich ores and creating enduring works of stone and iron. Today, the dwarves are an embattled race, fighting a never-ending war against the fast-breeding beastmen that have invaded their tunnels. Dwindling in number, barely clinging to the last of their holdings, dwarves are rarely seen by mankind. Those that do mingle with men are almost always adventurers of some sort. Let's see. In this tome, you will find the secrets of the great and proud race of dwarves, compiled, codified, and curated for those in your favorite old-school fantasy role-playing game. 200 pages, bounded in a stitch-bound hardcover and PDF edition, full-color painted cover by Michael Sirigos. Full-color interior layout and selection of color and black and white interior illustrations, compatible with OSE or old-school Renaissance RPGs as Adventure of Conqueror King, OSE, Labyrinth Lord, and Lamentations of the Flame Princess. 10 chapters, list out the chapters, very nice. The intended audience, very nice. Judges, players, judges who are creating and running fantasy campaigns using any of the OSR systems would like more depth, variety, and verisimilitude to their dwarves. If you've thought to yourself, if only I better understood the per capita productivity of dwarven mushroom farms, I could more easily simulate the siege of Dragon's Tor. This book is for you. They get me. I was just thinking about that the other day. Todd, hey, substitute my big, that's his job, right? Yeah. Probably older brother for sure. I don't know. And probably bigger brother. Planet Kingdom, good to see you. This Forged in the Dark game based. So Todd's the production designer, layout graphics. Okay, for Autorock. Or how am I like even pronouncing that correctly? Worked on their Axeline and new Supers RPG Ascendant. Nice. Finally, an answer to my Dwarven Spore problem for sure. And Laramie's back to some stuff from these guys. The other one, target audience, would be players participating in an OSR style playing game campaign who would like to test out new character classes and game playing experiences. If you find yourself saying, "God, I wish my dwarf would build a steam-powered tank to delve through a mine while high on berserker rage-inducing mushrooms," then this book is for you. Mushrooms seem to be a trend here in this book. Oh, no. Yeah. And I read his blog supporting the January 6th insurrection. Hard pass. Forever. Dude. Ugh. That sucks. Well, there you go. Well, let the controversy begin on that one, I guess. So there you go. Laramie's like, I bought one of those things from them once, and then I found out this. Well, okay, there you go. Abyss of Hallucinations. Wow. Doesn't that look like something out of an Aleister Crowley book? For Mechborg! It's volume 2. Mechborg! $17,000 pledges. $3,000 goal. Can confirm. Can you confirm, Eileen? Are you saying can confirm that this looks like an Aleister Crowley piece? Is that what you're confirming, or is it something prior? I'm a little. There's so much lag sometimes. All right, there you go, Mechborg lovers. The wickedest person to walk the earth perished before getting a chance to play the greatest Mechborg on earth. While the Mega Therion may not be available to GM your nihilistic jaunts across the abyss, they have spoken to me as truly as any. Full frontal assault on truth, the resulting text is rife with falsehoods, misnomers, and utter disregard for accuracy. Yet from beneath love and death, a new law for a new eon is erected. Play what thou wilt. It is. There it is. Did I call it or not? Abyss of Hallucinations. It's funny. Abyss of Hallucinations Volume 2 is a third-party Mechborg setting inspired by Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies. There you go. Arrogant, he's sad because he probably wanted to back that project, and then Larry might divulge that the guy's a January 6th sympathizer. Damn you, Sean, you helped pump up the deck of creating backgrounds on your mastermind, but they sold out. Oh, you're talking about Kimmy and Golden Lasso's tarot deck. Yeah. Look out for the next printing. I think Craig Shipman wanted to get in on that too. And I've heard they're very pretty, like very good looking, like beautiful deck. I don't know why I say pretty. Probably because I think anything that is good looking aesthetically is pretty. Ego. So yeah, this looks interesting. Continues tradition of placing blasphemy between the fanciest of sheets, featuring 2-color screen printed cover with white and gold iridescent ink on pink cardstock saddle stitch with white staples. And in addition, a gorgeous box is available. Very pretty. In the Abyss. So what are you getting in this thing, right? Let's get to it. 40 pages. 6 abhorrent new enemies. Probably help some Mechborgs. 7+ new location descriptions. 2 expanded. New Thelemic my series with the final Liber 7/7 Cryout. Hurlu. New occult treasures, ritual components, and a D77 corpse plundering table. The Skidoo Inn, the only inn where everyone is welcome but no one is allowed. Guaranteed to infuriate the clever and give the mindless masses a chance to really shine, but at least there's ale. With a map by Andy Weber. The Path, an anamorphous, ever-changing, quest-generating experience that will surely extinguish all PC's desire as they wander through hexes, for death wants for naught. Guidelines for running hex crawls in the Abyss, and a zine index for quickly finding content between the volumes. There you go. Something to check out. Yeah. All right, for all you Aleister Crowley fans, let's see, what else is out there? Overworld 3. D&D 5th edition, survive this in system neutral. Bloat Games. Funded. Has 3 days to go. So by the time some folks will see this, it'll be over. But never. Sometimes you can get late pledges. It's a zine. Monster Manual zine inspired by your favorite retro video game. Overworld 3. Line art. Cool. You will receive digital copies of all 4 new Overworld zines, including Overworld 3 for 5e, Overworld 3 for Survive This, Overworld 3 for System Neutral, and Overworld 3 Weapons and Lore, and Legend 2. So they've ran a successful Kickstarter before for a set of 4. style zines based on the favorite game for the 8-bit video game era. I don't remember Overworld. I must not have played it. Cool. So there you go. If you like that style art, it'll be right up your alley. The difference in the rule sets. And they show an example of stack card. These were work in progress screenshots from the original Overworld zines, but they give a good representation of what is to be expected as far as rules, mechanics, and layout. Yeah, that's good to give you an example of what it looks like, right? Dark Knight, top and bottom, and Ectite. So the top one looks like standard 5e stat block. The bottom one, yeah, because it says that 5e rule set and layout. And then the bottom one is survive this. And then the next one, same for system neutral. It says like health 2 hearts. Numbers appearing, damage, sword, treasure drop, weakness. Cool. Some add-ons. There you go. Overworld. Then there's one inspired by The Legend of Zelda. Okay. Is it over? Okay. Night World. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, there you go. Check that out. Where else? What else? RPGNet membership drive. Oh, wow. I gotta say, I don't hang out on RPGNet very often at all, honestly. Looks like the membership drive getting some funding to keep it up, maybe. Help RPGNet be an inclusive and internet home for our gamers of all kinds. I've always found that statement to be perplexing. I don't know. I just hear so many things about RPGNet. I'm sure it's a fine site, but I'm sure there's quite a bit of trolls, and then they get accused of maybe being too hard on folks expressing opinions on there. I don't know. Managing a community is tough, especially RPGNet, man. They're not small by any means. 12,000 active members, man. 21 million posts. That is a freaking juggernaut forum. So if you're an RPGNet fan, throw them some shekels. They've got some stuff. PDFs to help with funding. By becoming a member, you get some turns off ads, cool PDFs, easy column access, early reviews. So some early access pieces. Rose is the editor-in-chief, and she's been a poster for more than 20 years. So there you go. It costs money to keep sites like that up. Did I put a link in there? I probably didn't, did I? All right. Planet Girl game from Sly Robot Games. It's an original System Core rulebook. This is on GameFound. It is 43% funded and has 11 days to go as of this recording. Planet Girl is a tabletop role-playing game about a family of adventurers, planet children working together to prevent an ecological disaster in their community. You don't have to be a girl, but you do have to be a plant. Your character's gender is not essential to the game. In fact, the real plant girl is your mom, the kind-hearted witch grows children in her garden. Your mother's garden is crowded with succulents, and sometimes when the timing is just right, when your whole family is ready, one of those succulents emerges from the garden as a human child. This is how you came to be. You climbed out of the soil between the ages of 10 and 13 and found your family ready to love you. You're tied to the land, to the soil, and the water that fed you. Any threat to your town's ecosystem is a threat to your family's way of life, and your town is on the brink of ecological disaster. Do you think there's a message in this game? Your family must work together to protect yourselves and your community at large. Wow. Okay, look at that. All right. All right, there you go. I think that's it for those. Crowdfunding. D&D General, basic D&D was selling 600,000 plus per year at one point. So this is apparently Ben Riggs got some figures. I think Ben is writing a book called Slaying the Dragon, which is a history of TSR era D&D that comes out soon. I'll give Ben a little plug here. You can check it out and have it do pre-order. But yeah, in this article, I don't think it states how Ben found this info. I think he just put it out there. So you can compare these figures to those AD&D first edition in the same period. Basic D&D sold higher than AD&D's PHB and DMG combined for 4 years running, again in the early 80s. So this is this blue chart is basic D&D sales per year. And you can see how it falls off. So when you start playing D&D after the early 80s, basic takes a nosedive, which is probably the rise of AD&D. That's like where I got started was in, I think it was 83, I think. And I bought the PHB before I bought anything. So, and then this is basic D&D versus AD&D, which is interesting because maybe I'm wrong here. So if you take a look at the overall sales from 79 to 95, that's what that grid shows, the x-axis. Here are two beside each other again. This is just Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide, so it doesn't include the Monster Manual or Unearthed Arcana. Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can see AD&D did outperform basic starting in 84. And it was probably because a lot of us, I don't know about you, but I looked at it and said, basic? Oh, that's not me. Advanced. I'm an advanced guy. Little do we know. There you go for marketing. Any surprises with this? 600,000. That's a lot. I mean, is that a lot? Probably a lot in the 80s, right? Well put, Wayne. As a matter of fact, I think in the beginning, somewhere in one of these articles, I don't know if because this is kind of a cross post. There was a statement that said, hey, Lorraine started around this time, and if it wasn't for Lorraine, it would have been dead. Like died. Done. Finished. No more D&D. It's one of the first few instances that I've seen anybody attribute Lorraine to a positive thing in D&D. Basic D&D sales versus AD&D right there. Look at that. From 79 to 95. So it's not current, right? Over 3 million. And the AD&D is 2 books. So that's why you keep finding a Keep on the Borderlands everywhere. The Keep on the Borderlands. I always say keep, right? The Keep on the Borderlands. Because Keep on the Borderlands is like a double entendre. Right? So then he kind of has a write-up here. I could probably pull this up a little bit bigger, balloon it up. I don't know if you guys can read it. So so below you'll find sales numbers of basic D&D and AD&D. For those who don't know, early in its life, the tree of D&D was split in half. D&D, an RPG designed to bring beginners into the game, was simpler and didn't try to have rules for everything. On the other side was AD&D, which is, oh man, I gotta sneeze. Gygax's attempt at Gygax's attempt to throw a net around the world and then shove it into rulebooks. The game was so detailed that it provided rules on how armor class changed depending on what hand your PC held the shield in. Which a Brett doesn't play that way. It's a toolbox game. You don't need it. Just kidding, Brett. Yes, exactly. Weapon speed. It may also have been an attempt to cut D&D co-creator Dave Arneson out of royalties. Whoa. Shots fired. Hey. Frankly, shocked at how well D&D basic D&D sold, for sure. Me too. Having discovered AD&D 2nd edition in the 90s, I thought of D&D. Oh, and that he must be considering 2nd and 1st, right? Through the 90s. Oh, man. Allergies. I thought of D&D as a sort of baby game of mashed peas and steamed potatoes. It was for people not ready for full meal. That was AD&D. My thoughts exactly. I don't know about you guys. I've since learned how wrong I was to dismiss the beauty of what Holmes, Moldvay, Mentzer, Cook et al. Created for us in those wondrous Beck-Me box sets. As I sniffle my nose in the mic. Figured that basic D&D was just a series of... I hope he states where he's getting this data from. I figured that basic D&D was just a series of intro products, but over its lifetime, it actually outsold AD&D 1st edition, partly because 1st was replaced by 2nd in '89. And I'll start rolling out the 2nd ed numbers tomorrow, which will be coming, I guess. These numbers would explain why in 1980 Dragon article, Gygax spoke of AD&D not being abandoned. Still between 80 and 84, basic outsold AD&D. The strong numbers for basic D&D prompt a few questions. Where was the strength of the brand? Were these two lines of products in competition with each other? Was one real D&D? And why did TSR stop supporting basic D&D in the 90s? The only one of those questions I will hazard is the last one. A source told me that because TSR CEO Lorraine Williams did not want to generate royalties for Gygax or Arneson, basic D&D was left to wither on the vine, which I'm sure is probably contributing to some of the we don't like Lorraine Williams, other than the fact that she not only kicked out Gygax, but it left it to die on the vine. Wow. What a business decision, huh? Interesting hobby, right? Hello, Eric Salzwedel. I thought you were... Oh, yeah, that was a post at a baseball game, so you're back from there. He says, I will also say this. TSR will die in 97 of 1,000 cuts. But the one underlying all of them was a failure of the company to grow its customer base. TSR wanted its D&D players to migrate over to AD&D. What if they didn't? What if they wanted to keep playing D&D and TSR simply stopped making the product they wanted to buy? What if TSR walked away from what may have been hundreds of thousands of customers because of a sort of personal vendetta? Tomorrow I'll post numbers for 2nd edition AD&D and comparisons for it with basic and 1st. And if you don't know, I have a book of D&D, which I posted in the chat if you want to order that from him and see what that's all about. There you go. Hey, Lou. So just going over, did you guys know that basic D&D outsold PHB and DMG of 1st edition AD&D? Well, you do now. There you go. The more you know. It's only been around, 30, 40 years. I just hope he states, the sources of the data. Where are you getting this? Are there old ledgers you came across? Or, So there you go. Excuse me. Workboard, crowdfunding. The only thing I have left could take quite a while, and one thing I considered, I don't know if I'm going to do it. It's because I didn't know if I was going to go the full 2 hours. Is the Ennies. And we are honored today, ladies and gentlemen, to have and be graced by the presence of an ENnie Award winner, Todd Crapper, in the chat. So, just want to say, love them, hate them, whatever. They are what they are. They're an RPG award that has been around for a long time. The only other ones that I can think of that have the close to the clout that this one does is the Deanna Jones Award winner. I know it's people say Diana, but whatever. And the Origin Awards, which I don't even know. Origins has happened, right? So did they put out awards? I might have missed that one. They just do a great job of putting them out there. Eric Salzwedel, you are dog walker. Matty Q. I think a lot of the AD&D Basics sales were idiots like me who bought the red box and then realized that it wasn't what my friends were playing, then went out to buy the book. Yeah, I actually bought... I think I bought Basic. I'm not sure why. Did I buy Basic? I bought Basic, but why? Or did I just like back in those days we had our products all over the place. Like we just shared everything. So like I got modules I never bought. Like they were, hey, run this, and then I never gave it back to the person who actually bought it. And we would buy, we would buy modules hoping that the DM would run them for us. So I'd buy it and go, here, run this for us. And then he would just keep it. And I didn't care because so what? He ran it for us. So I think it might have been similar, Matty Q. This is also back then, I think it was kind of alien to purchase a game as a book and not something in a box. Yeah. Well, you got the dice, an adventure. All right. What about the ENnies, right? Lots of, like somebody said earlier, lots of indie games. Harrogate says, I would actually avoid basic modules as well unless the cover art really tempted me. Yeah, me too. And if I bought one, I bought it by mistake. Like, this is basic. God blast it all. Like, it looks like the trade dress was AD&D, and I bought it, and it's not advanced. So after I got burned on that once or twice, I'd be like, gotta look at it. Is it advanced? Has it got the yellow thing? Should it have the yellow thing? All right. Let's judge the spotlight winners. Dwelling. And this is going to take way too long to go through all of them. I might have to just dedicate one morning to doing this. I could have just started this an hour ago. I probably still wouldn't get through all these. Judges Spotlight. Kobold Press in the Judges Spotlight. Kobold Guide to Monsters. I only point that out only because I would say, comparatively speaking, to the other products, that's probably the big publishing house listed. The others are Cobblepath, Good Luck Press, Molten Sulphur Press, and Possum Creek Games. So doesn't mean that their products are any less worthy to be in the judges' spotlight, but we also talked about how some of the bigger game companies are probably refraining from submitting to the ENnies, I guess out of good faith, right, kind of thing. That's another, there's folks that think Wizards is a monopoly, and so they can't complain about the ENnies because Wizards could probably submit their products to the ENnies, and if it got nominated and chosen by the judges, then I imagine that the overall population would certainly go there and flood it, right? It's like some would say a popularity contest, but the ENnies have evolved. Let's just say that. Basic was for babies. Yeah, right. So let's see what's got people's curiosity. I don't know. I'll tell you what. We're gonna go through the list, and I'll tell you what I know of, which doesn't mean anything. It just means that Sean's plugged into certain circles that probably hasn't exposed them to some of these other authors and companies and products. So best adventure, I'm trying to look for recognizable names of companies, names of the authors, or titles of the product. And so let me see, just blow this up even more. Don't know Logan Dean or Megacorp. And frankly, I could know them and not even know it too. So full disclosure. Hark says the Frog Magus from Dewata and Mania. Man, I can't pronounce the names. McGuffin and Company, Odd Jobs, Troubleshooters, U-Boat Mystery, and Uncaged Goddesses. What I wish they would put was kind of like best adventure, like, but for what? Like, is there a system associated with these, or are they just agnostic? Uncaged Goddess by Unsali Studios, which has got a lot of authors and a pretty decent size contribution list, right? Not seeing a lot of familiar names to me. But again, doesn't mean that they're bad products or anything, so check it out. I like the Ennies certainly for one thing, and that is exposure, which I think nobody can really argue against, is it can give you a little bit of a boost for exposure. I'll go through these and check them out and go, oh, that is a pretty cool, and especially the winners, right? Like, oh, I'm going to check that out because I've never heard of it. Won a gold Ennie. I think it warrants a little of attention. What's it look like, right? If it's got any award for maps, then it's probably got some kick-ass maps in it. See you, Wayne. All right. Best aid accessory digital. Call Cthulhu 3D digital props. Masks of Nyarlathotep Type 40. That I had to go and check because I think Type 40 does a lot of NFTs. And I know that Chaosium did some NFTs and then they pulled back. So they're not NFTs. You can buy them for like $20, I think, for Massive Nyarlathotep, which is pretty decent. If you buy the huge box set of, and it's not loading, if you buy the huge box set of props, but you're not at the game table, these might actually come in fairly handy. $50, my bad, $50. And it tells you everything that comes in it. And it's done, it says, has 2 to 4 digital reference card in PNG formats, or PNG, if you will, and then it has 3D digital props in a GLB format, which you can view through a 3D viewer on Windows or with a variety of free third-party apps that support GLB files on any device. So the tricky thing is you would probably tell your group, you'd use the 2D version, or you'd have to probably share the file, right, for 3D. So they could like look at it and spin it around. Yeah. Okay, that was it. All right. So, anyways, hex roll, pen, dice, and paper, Mechborg digital monster generator, which is on like their official site. Tales of Zadia, the Dragon Prince role-playing game digital tool set by Fandom, and then the Goblin's Notebook by The Goblin. What's The Goblin's Notebook? Open your notebook, thegoblin.net. The Goblin's Notebook, tabletop campaign planner and note-taking tool. Ooh, interesting. I wonder if I've come across this before. Maybe not. In a die roll? Maybe, maybe not. Got some markdown. Make connections between any objects. Sounds like something else I might use. Split your campaign into chapters, add notes to the journal as you play. Share your campaign. Kind of got like a little Trello board card thing looking going on. It's free. Create a campaign for free. The price of £1 per plus tax. Create a campaign. Unlimited campaign size. Import and export. And then the unlimited is £2. Looks like they have a Patreon tied into it. So, that's interesting. I'd have to check that out. Let's see. And I'll put in mass this thing. And I wish I could put all of them in there, but you can just go. Actually, I'll just give you any nominations list that I'm going through, and you can go through at your leisure. Best aid accessory non-digital. Call of Cthulhu prop set, which is interesting. Okay, here I got a beef. Okay, got a beef. Just a second. Let me close some of these tabs. They're getting crazy out of control. Crazy out of control, people. Let's see. All right. There. I have the... What? They lowered the price. Oh, bigger, better, more. Oh, this is the classic one. I don't have this one. Or do I? I don't know. Maybe I got it on the Kickstarter. I was thinking about the masked one. Because the masked one has been out. So I got them mixed up. My bad. Crisis averted. Controversy extinguished. Call of Cthulhu Classic Gamer Prop Set. Do I have this? I don't think I have this. No, this wasn't part of the Kickstarter. Great if you're playing face to face, but if you're not so much. But really cool for sure. I have the mass ones from the same people, the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. It's awesome. Like you'll get an envelope, but it won't say handout on it. It'll just be an envelope, like for whatever it is. So, City of Mist Crime Board map. Fate Accessibility Toolkit from Evil Hat. The Metropolis Core Set. Tome of Summoning Archmage Royal Bundle from Tome of Summoning. Cool, good stuff. Best art cover. I wonder if I can... Some of these we've seen. And the problem is that we go to the website, assuming this one, what is it called? Colossal? Not Castle, but Colossal. Solo RPG Adventure by Nick Angel. This thing's got like many nominations. So that's the cover. It's pretty cool. And then the cover of this one. Cool, although I've seen that picture before, right? Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Cool. Personally, not my type of art that I enjoy, but nonetheless, I could see it. It's very colorful and artistic. I'm sure it goes along with the trade dress throughout the book, right? Right there, they probably have the same person who did the cover art do all the art internally, which I can appreciate. A lot of consistency. Very cool. Uncaged Goddess. Let's see if I can't blow that up anymore. There it is. Already got their nomination up on the product. Hey, we got to put that on our website. Didn't waste any time. So they get Best Adventure, cover art, and interior art, and product of the year. So this must, their odds are pretty good. Pretty good. It's on DM's Guild. Wander Home. Or is it Wanderome? Wanderome. I don't. There we go. That's good when you get nominated for best cover art, man, and you bury the lead. Let's see. Here we go. There's a picture of it. A lot of little watercolor thing kind of motif going on. It's pretty neat. Wow. Looks like a neat product. Dancing mushrooms, man. It's all about tripping out and playing these role-playing games, isn't it? All right. Very cool. You know, it reminds me of Harrigan. Reminds me of Daniel Solis. You know, if you know who Daniel is. He did go, what did he do? Daniel Solis did. Damn it. What was the game he did? Not Go. Doe? Doe. I think it was Doe. Best Art Interior. One Ring from Free League Publishing. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Uncaged Goddess. And Wanderome. So, again, a majority of the people that had exterior art, except for the One Ring. And then Dark Fantasy Renaissance setting for 5e by Mana. Yeah, where is the... And they link here. They don't have a website. Mana Project Studio publisher website. They should link to the publisher website from the Ennies, but I guess maybe it's the choice of the person who submits it. Goodness gracious, people. All right, they did Broken Compass, Dread. What? Oh, I see. This must be, yeah, the studio that does art. I got it. So it only makes sense to link to drive through for the product and then to the artist page from there. Because they're the publisher. I am a little confused. Games. Okay. Okay. Huh. Right. Dread. Okay, well. TSL's art is freaking awful. I hate that kind of kids' book looking art, especially considering the basis of the book. Signed, Maddie Q. Hey, Orcus Dorcas, good to see you. Best Cartography. City of Mist. Board Map. Zapiku Maps Collection. Handy Maps, Dungeons, Caves, and Strange Locales by Monkey Blood Design and Publishing. Glenn Seal. Glenn Seal has won an Ennie for his cartography in the past. So, Cult, Labyrinths and Secret Chambers, and then the Scarlet Citadel Map Folio by Cold Bolt Press. It's not your favorite, right? Orcus Dorcas is a fan of Glenn Seal. Let it be known. Yeah. So, okay. Now, the tricky thing with Best Cartography is that the product is like the product's being recognized for the cartography in it, but it's probably not. Glenn's might be like typical, like this is a cartography kind of pack. Yeah, with strange locales and card set. I think I might. I don't know if I got in on this for the digital when I was kickstarted. I might have. I don't remember. It looks familiar. Shoot, I don't know. Anyways, this one is obviously that. City Mist Crime Board map. Okay, cool. This is pretty cool. What? Make it bigger, man. Why are they gonna be so small, man? Come on. Darn. See if I can. There we go. Jeez. Shrunken down by the website. That looks pretty cool. So yes, these then I can say then this is like I guess my point is buying, say, I don't know, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and then the dungeon gets recognized for best cartography, right? So it's great that the cartography is great, but what about the rest of the product and stuff? So if it's just best cartography and it's all that, which maybe it is, maybe I'm just an idiot and don't realize that I already opened that one. Yeah, maps collection, great. Cult, labyrinths, and secret chambers. Okay, cool. 35 pounds, man. That's kind of is that pricey? Is that pricey? I keep telling people should increase their prices, and then I complain that it's too pricey. Okay, so it's all just cartography. That makes sense. Then Scarlet Citadel map folio. Looks very familiar, right? Like a lot of D&D, the old D&D big maps, skirmish maps, tiles. I wonder who did this on their side. They will even say. I don't know. It doesn't say in the description. It's like Wayne Reynolds art. You could just pick it out, right? That guy's got a good gig at Paizo, I imagine. All right, best electronic book. Complicated Profession by Jason Price. Anamnesis with designer's commentary. Samantha Lee. One Night Strahd. The Lazy DM's Companion. So I know Sly and Mike Shea, but I don't have that product. I have bought the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master. Tuna Black Sand Virtual Tabletop Digital Deluxe by Swordfish Island. Ooh, that might be an interesting one. I'm a big fan of those guys. And it is a Foundry module. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, neat. I feel bad for not like highlighting everybody's, but hey, what can I say? Orcus Dork says Tomb of the Black Sand is superb. Let it be known. I don't know what 99% of this stuff is. I know who Sly Flourish is. Yeah. Well, now, that's what we're here. We're going to educate a few people. TSL's art really grabs shoppers, and I sell lots of that book because of the draw of the cover. It's very geared towards the right audience, but I respect that it's not everyone's yum, for sure. Art is, I don't know how you judge art, honestly. Like, sometimes I wonder if art, well, it's in the eye of the beholder, but bright, colorful, has a specific look. I would say yes. I think you almost have to say, like, does the art capture the feel of the game? And if you have an anime game and the art on the cover is maybe not, and you're wanting to go with an anime type of style or for the game, it only makes sense to like if you're doing big eye, small mouth, right? It only like makes sense to do anime. Best family game product. Babes in the World. World. I skipped over a word. Babes in the Wood by World Champ Game Company. Good Strong Hands, Nerdburger Games, Laser Pony 2nd Edition, Hex Games, Questlings RPG, Lightman Games. I wonder if that's Banana Chan and Tim Devine. Ooh, oh, that's Letterman. God, I swear the older I get, I'm getting like my letters crossed. Wander Home. There's Wander Home again by Possum Creek. So family games, right? That's the basis of this category. So, Mechborg, probably not in that category, right? Die Hard Edgelords. Mechborg should be best family game product. Well, let's see. Let's just take a quick. If I just click on these and I get to the site, who knows what? So Tomb of Black Sand. Here we go. Babes in the Wood. It's like a very, very much a storybook for children, right? Like when we were kids. Like they're square and small and big print, probably. Illustrated. I could see it for sure. Counter the peculiar folks who reside within and help solve their problems while confronting your own relationships and fears. Catch literal lightning bugs for the north. Witches, potions, bear witness to the royal cat wedding, or Sir Poppy and the princess, or simply tell tales with your friends as you traverse the strange eternal wood. But be wary, dark forces and foes lie in the tangled depths of the forest and have their sights set on you. Okay, cool. Good strong hands. Got their any stuff on there. A darkly whimsical game about saving your fantastical world by Craig Campbell. Artwork by Serena Malgon. Is that what it says? Portray fantastic creatures and their newly arrived human allies working to save your home of reverie and destruction by the faceless, malevolent force known only as the Void. Hey, cool. Laser Ponies. Psh, look at this. Think they're trying to get an audience on that one? A specific kind of audience? I think Matty Q's probably liking that one. So I'm just saying. I'm going to get Matty Q to play that. What do you say, Matty? It's an RPG for everybody. And, I'm everybody. I like to be part of everybody. Sometimes. On a faraway magical world, the laser ponies romp, frolic, play, and when necessary, shoot lasers out of their eyes. You had me at laser ponies. Could defend the creatures of Glitter Valley from the wicked Chasm Queen and her army of monsters. Laser Ponies is action-packed yet adorable. They are adorable. Cartoon you always wanted to see, filled with magic, wonder, and adventure, brought to life as a tabletop role-playing game for players of all ages. Sold. Letterman games, not to be confused with Lightman games. Questlings. Wow, look at these. Essentials pack. Wow. See, now you guys can say, I don't know what any award nominations are. And then after today, you can get, oh, I actually do see some of these. And now I wonder what they are. Laser ponies are a whole different animal, Sean. Indeed, that's real role playing. Hey, man, there you go. Easily swayed with the right product, I say. All right, Wander Home. We touched on this one. The same I mentioned. So I mentioned thousand year vampire is behind me, and I saw that in a local game store. I had heard about it. The type of game it was, I wasn't hunting for it, but I just saw it there in print, which is sometimes unusual for some small print games. Picked it up. It's gorgeous. Haven't played it. Probably should, but the aesthetics is just. They're crazy good. I think that goes to some of these games here, like even Wander Home, right? Like they got a Polygon Best Indie Tabletop Game in 2021, Nebula Award for Best Game Writing, Gaming Award for Best Queer Tabletop, and Tabletop Gaming's Best Indie Game of 2021. But besides the accolades that these guys are getting recognized for and achieving. If you get this book, it's like it's done it's just, I have a feeling if you buy this book, and it's not for everybody, mind you, but it says a book full of art and expression. Like these are like the Beatrix Potter books. I don't know if you guys know those. What are the other ones that were very like the remembrance I had as kids that were just a staple of the 80s and early like the late 70s kids books. It's just done in a certain style, and I could see, you know, from some of the art through. Oh, look at this Wonder Home PDF printouts. This is it the same artist? Maybe a lot brighter for sure. But there's such a consistency in the typeset and the art that's complementary in the layout and the margins, and it all is like a very. I don't want to say it's easy, and I'm not even showing you guys. And I don't want to say it's easy to lay out a RPG game, but let's face it, there is a relative recipe that goes into a lot of the books that most of us have purchased. I'm pretty sure that if I picked off 5 role-playing books behind me, they're going to be pretty similar. They're going to have the chapters. They're going to probably have a 2-column layout. They're going to have probably some weird border along the edges somehow, even if it's just in the corners. When you start picking up these, I mean, the only other one that I have is kind of wacky is the Saga edition of Star Wars, which is like a, 12 by 12 or 11 by 11 square book. But when you buy these specific type of books that are maybe geared towards children or family with a bend to I don't know what I'm saying. I guess it's just the way it's very, there is a particular look and feel that they're trying to provide. Not that some of these other role-playing books aren't by any means, but this is, I think it's just different, and it might not appeal to everybody, understandably so, and it's probably not the game for everybody, but I could see what they're trying to do with great intention. Best free game product. You can go out these and get these now and not even have to pay for it. Renegade Game Studios. I don't know if I ever knew that they actually did some vampire. I thought that was like somebody else, but whatever. Richard Scarry for specific children books with a consistent art style and quality. Also Mercer Mayer. Interesting. Yeah. That's by Eddie Webb, by the way. Eddie's been around. Champions Begins. Tutorial adventure designed to teach both game masters and players how to play Champions, the super role-playing game. It says the super role-playing game. Should it be the super role-playing game or the supers role-playing game? If you deviate from the standard, you typically decrease the size of your niche. Good or bad, it's a choice. For sure, Victor. Yeah, there's absolutely advantages and disadvantages to going one route or the other. I just think that if you're trying to set yourself apart from the rest of the pack, it comes with some consequences. One could say, oh, it's too different. And it alienates the people, right, that you're talking about. But if it's kind of like I hate to say it, but it's like indie bands or the music scene. If you want to kind of see what's selling in the album marketplace and you write songs, to that and you can get picked up and signed, great. But then if you don't and you want to stay true to the art and be different, you might not sell out Coliseums. So it all depends on who that is. Learn, play champions. First time travel back to 1990 and forget about all the other superhero games. Extraction from Demon. Fuck Cleveland, 1996. Okay, look at this. July 74, an occult working performed by Redacted successfully creates a rift between worlds and summons the Demon Queen Redacted, ushering in hell on Earth. I want to read this scenario, which encompasses the metro area of Cleveland, Ohio. To stop the spread of the Demon Queen's armies, the United States government establishes a perimeter around Cleveland and declares it in an enemy-occupied territory. After months of skirmishes and negotiation, terms are reached and a ceasefire is declared. Cleveland is their domain now. It's been 22 years. The president's plane has just gone over Cleveland airspace. Your team has one mission: rescue the president at any cost. Extraction from Demon Fuck Cleveland, 1996, is a system-agnostic mini hex crawl pamphlet designed for military action one-shots recommended for mature audiences. Huh. Could have ran this. Does it sound familiar, anyone? Man, Demon Queen don't care about Cleveland. It's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. That's why it's in Cleveland. That's why the Demon Queen's there. It's all the summoning from the metal gods of heavy metal. Seems legit, Victor says. I've been to Cleveland once. Escape from New York, maybe? Yeah. 2021, 9th level games. Anthology Digital. Free. This was in Free RPG Day. God, a lot of games in here. Okay. You can get that now. I'm gonna put all these links in there. Worlds Beyond the Infernal Breach. Industrial Infernal RPG about wanderers who roam a desolate planet destroyed by the interests and whims of a few. You will live adventures in a world consumed by decadence and superstition, invaded by hellish forces. Based on Apocalypse World, full of hellish illustrations, tools to build the world and background randomly, guaranteeing different experience each time it's played. 9 playbooks. That's free. You can get it all. You can go and get it right now. That's kind of cool. Free stuff, man. Everybody likes free. Like the Ennies, the best free game product is like when you go to a trade show and you just pick stuff off the tables. That's what the best free game product of the Ennies is. Michael Allen, good to see you, man. Best game. Colossal. Damn it. Can I ever get that right? Root. The Troubleshooters. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Name of that RPG for some reason. I don't even know. I don't know why. It's not Geagle, 10-year-old Geagle. Hee Thirsty Sword Lesbians. It's just like, I hope I don't forget the sword for some reason. That seems rather sexist, but not, I don't know. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Wise Women. The only one, I'm not familiar with any of these, unfortunately, except for Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Like, I know who they are by Evil Hat, and Root by Magpie. Hey, Joe. Oh, Troubleshooters, really? Troubleshooters is good, but such a niche game, and it came out 2 years ago. Yeah, that isn't. Oh yeah, now okay. I'm glad you pointed that out, Orcus Dorcas, because I did bring. I have brought this up. I think it might have been the Kickstarter of Troubleshooters. It came 2 years ago. Seriously, that long? I brought it up on this stream, I think, during one of the Kickstarter maybe crowdfunding pieces. Again, like it's right over my head. Or is it like this? Over my head. Well, and Thirsty Sword Lesbians has been around for a while, right? They didn't just come out. Well, was it like Kickstarted a while ago and then it's finally out like the last year? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Beginning of COVID, that's 2000. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Best laid out and design. Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 from Modiphius. So they're a big player. I would consider them a big player. Arc Dream Publishing. I probably put them as a big player. Impossible Landscapes. I am biased. What are you going to do? So when I look at the whole list and I go, oh, that's one I recognize. Click, and maybe that's what it comes down to. But Nova. Spencer Campbell. You guys know who Spencer Campbell is in Gia RPGs? They did Killshot. Gaia Games. They did Killshot. I did a video on this channel. Actual live play of a solo game. So this kind of looks cool. Noah. Uses the Lumen system, if you're familiar with the Lumen system. Core mechanic. So instead of 2d6 powered by the apocalypse, it's 1d6. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. Pretty simple. So there you go. Added to the d6 games, right, Harrigan? Probably already have it listed in there. Just got the hardcover, huh? Cool. Cool. Rules light tabletop RPG in a world where the sun exploded and humanity struggles to hold on to what little light they have left. The players will pilot exosuits called Sparks, exploring the dark ruins of old Earth, searching for the technology and knowledge that may just bring on a new dawn. Putrescence, Regnant, Exalted Funeral Press. I remember this when this came out. What? How long ago was it, man? It's an LP in vinyl format. Thank you. I remember this when they were doing it. Has an 8-page insert full of content such as a map and description of the swamp, hamlet, Trowrish, circa 20 minor locations, as well as 3 factions and their dwellings. See, now I would not have put the name to this until I saw it. And then when I see it, I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. Voidheart Symphony. Psychic Revolution in the Shadows of my city? It says of your city. There's a wound in the world, a rod eating at hope and community and empathy. You've seen it in dark alleyways and gleaming boardrooms, gifting terrible power to those who will use it to hurt others. Sounds like real life, man. Had enough. You're going to dive through that wound into the nightmare castle on the other side. You're going to find the avatar of the one bringing you misery and strike them down. Fantasy RPGs. What's next? Once you've stolen their power and ruined their ambitions, will you return to your daily grind? No, I would take over the world, silly. I would become them. See you, Dorigo. Have fun with that toilet, buddy. Oh, watch Sean on a stream. Go unplug a toilet. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it totally makes sense. Hilarious. Although I can imagine the emergency behind a clogged toilet. Orcus says, I joined a live stream with Helmgast playing Troubleshooters 2 years ago, so it's been out a while. It may have hit stores recently, but not sure that should count. Best Monster Adversary, Archvillain Archive, Big Bad Booklet, Hal and Rogers Creature Compendium, Home Field Advantage, a compendium of lair actions, and Nightfell for 5e. Okay, you guys want me to pull up any of those? I don't know. Best online content. These I think I like blogs and stuff. Cross RPGC. Southeast Asian tabletop. A lot of they're just showing the Twitters there. Okay, so now they got the products in there. So some of the things that are coming out of Southeast Asia. Dave Thumavor RPG reviews. $12,000 subs. How often is he putting out? Is he putting stuff out weekly? And how long has he been around? I'm just curious. Joined in 2018. So he's been around for about, holy shit, a week from 4 years. So 4 years to get to 12,000 subs. It's pretty good. Recognize that ring. He went to Token Maker to get that, I'm sure. I'm just kidding, I don't know. So YouTube channel. Which for this, like people click on that, go to his YouTube channel. That's exposure. Everhearth N. Dungeons and Dragons recipes. This is the book, right? No. Did they put out the book? Is this the same book? Jump to recipes. Oh, so you can just like get these for free? Kung Pao Griffin, D&D inspired cooking. You know, okay, can I just say something? This is cool, don't get me wrong. But like, are you just making like chicken and calling it like, I don't know, wild, I don't know. What do you, like, you call it something D&D-ish? Like Kung Pao Griffin? What is that? Loaf of meat from the dragon loaf. But hey, recipe, D&D theme, cool, fine. Like I should probably just print some of these off so I could just have something to like change up the table a little bit every once in a while, to change up the meals. RPG Bot. Oh, online resource for tabletop role-playing games, including informative articles, online tools, and RPG Bot podcast to help you be a better player and play better games. And wow, holy cow, hold on a second. What are up with all these ads? Wow. Yikes. Come on, seriously? Holy buckets. Man. Okay, I refreshed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dudes. Come on. 8, 9, 10. 10 ads? Seriously? Boy, they must be like, hey, we got nominated for an Emmy. They're going to be going to our website. Put on ads. Ah, man. Okay, let's just say we go to the blog. We'll go to the blog. I have a feeling they're all going to load in the same spot. I mean, I guess that's what you want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Dudes, I can't. Look at this. It's like GeoCities exploded in my face. Dude, put in some strategy. Like, put this banner ad right here, this one horizontal. Yeah, okay, fine. Put it under the date. That's fine. Put this one here in the bottom. Maybe in the middle. I mean, some news sites do that, but wow. Ooh, no. Okay, question is, does Sean have his ad blocker on? Yeah, man, GeoCities, dude. They how could you visit this site and go, yes, we should put this as the Ennies, unless they didn't have it on there until after they got nominated. God, man. How to play Pathfinder. How to play introductory adventure. The rules. Look at this crap. They don't even have, wow. Just wow. Look at this. That one, two, that's all the same ad. Two ads. Placed. Something isn't even working correctly on this thing. I wonder if did they get hacked? No. I don't know. 1, 2. So there are 4 on each side. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ads. Dude, there are a lot of sites out there that don't serve you up 12 flipping ads. Oh, and they're rotating? Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. 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 Don't go there. Don't go there. Just don't. Like, don't. I mean, I'm all about supporting all the nominees. Just that's, man. Sly might have an ad. We'll see. Probably not, but yeah, he's got a little email. I got to get one of those email slider outer things. Mike probably gets, who knows, twice the amount of traffic. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that's not the case. Yeah, man. Yeah. If you're going to get a free website and you're like, hey, website at night by, zipzapszigzag.com, and they give you a free website. And the reason they give it to you free is because they're going to put ads all over it. Great. I get it. But man, Sly Flourish, Mike Shea, good guy. I have Return a Lazy Dungeon Master, so I don't tune into his blog much. I'm not a blog writer or reader. Unless it comes up with something that I got to talk about on the show or something. But otherwise, I tune into Mike, his live stream every once in a while, and I'm going to tap him from GM Mastermind, I think. But, here's his stuff. He's got good stuff on there. But he's been around for a while, so it's just, when has he ever been nominated before? And it doesn't matter, but I'm just curious because he's, Sly Flourish blog, that's where it started. All right, best organized play. I'm going to skip organized play. Best podcast. +1 forward, Gauntlet. They've been around for a little while. So obviously timing doesn't, I thought like products would be like anything launched in the last year. I don't know if that criteria's changed. Obviously, we've got some discrepancies. Best podcast, man, that is all over the place. So I looked at these. +1 forward, I'm familiar with. Gauntlet Community, positive force in the RPG hobby for sure. Not that the other ones aren't by any means, but these are all APs. So Ain't Slayed Nobody. My friend, I think I can call her a friend, Bridget Jeffries, who was on Game Master Mastermind, is now a part of the cast for one of these actual plays. So it's a Call of Cthulhu podcast. Bridget is super awesome. So if she's on it, I will promote it because I know she's good people. So season 2 apparently has had her on, maybe. That was back in September 21. So there's Bridget. So if you've never heard of Bridget Jeffries, you have today. And she's on the horror and suspense episode of GM Mastermind that drops on Monday to the public. So you'll get more Bridget. So that's an AP. I haven't listened to an episode yet, and I think what I was looking at was like and I know I think they're up to date, but there's not a lot of dates on these, and when they released, then maybe they don't need to because they're APs. Kill Every Monster, which is an interesting one I did not listen to, but this is like people going through the monster manual and talking about individual monsters, like the Dryad, and they have guests on to talk about it. So Cambion, did they really get him on there? Wow. That's Anthony Rapp. That's no joke, man. If you don't know who Anthony Rapp is, man, he's an actor and he's got quite a following on, and he's a gamer nerd. Star Trek. He's on the Star Trek Discovery series. I like him as Tony in Dazed and Confused. So, yeah, I mean, good for them for bringing him on there. Nice, the website. So I haven't listened to this one. They've been out for a little while. Looks like a couple seasons. Rock Sasha, I should read that one. I love that monster. So Kill Every Monster. It's so weird when I go to these websites. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always think that the nav is always the same. It's like your home, your about, your contact. Like those are like three key elements. And the ones I go to, like this Call of Cthulhu, like there is no about page. Like what is this? Oh, okay. It's a pot, like, okay, let's get to the homepage. Saddle Up and Ride Down Dark Trails are comedy, horror, Call of Cthulhu podcast. So they're right on the homepage. And then they got some details here. So maybe they don't need an about page because they've got it on the front page. But I just usually go to about so I can see like, okay, how, like the cast, what do they talk about? What's the subject matter? They put it right on the front. So it's a little different. But Kill Every Monster, And I think it's in the slider. No. I thought they had it in here where it was like, hey, this is what we talk about. Anyways, I'm being nitpicky. But if you go to questions, the questions page, what is the show about? It's right there. What is it about? So anyways, Pink Fohawk, Shadowrun, actual play. Started listening to this one. Got it about 10 minutes in. It sounds like a regular game group. The audio is like awesome audio as far as I could tell. They all sound like they're sitting in a studio playing a role-playing game, specifically Shadowrun. They do put sound effects in, and if there's a call on a phone, they change the voice to make it sound like they're on the other end of a phone. So if you like Shadowrun and you like actual plays, this would probably be a go-to if you haven't listened to it. And then Roll to Cast is another live play, which is weird. So this bottom banner down below says July 5th, 2022. So July 5th, it's 4 days ago of this recording. So that's their most recent episode. But when you go through all these, I can't find anything from 2020. Yeah, it stops at 2021. So something about like the displaying of them on the website and their feed are maybe two different things, but that's not a reason not to be nominated or considered for an Emmy by any means. I haven't listened to them, and I think they do different RPGs. I'm not mistaken. Well, let's go to about. They have an about page. Here we go. So season 1, 2, 7 seasons. First one's on Cyberpunk 2020. Season 2 is Vampire the Masquerade. Season 3 is Cyberpunk Red. Pulp Cthulhu, Kids on Bikes, The Witcher RPG, and Avatar Legends is season 7, which is probably the most recent, I have to think. So there you go. I still wonder if there's benefits to just, what if they did 7 different podcasts and just put it under all one umbrella? instead of, and granted, their feed is going to be season 1 is all of these, season 2 is all of these. It's when you start intermixing, I think, APs in with commentary RPGs, they kind of get lost, which is kind of a pet peeve of mine, but so be it. It's their choice. So there you go. One of the things I want to talk about specifically in the RPG space podcast, I'm bummed that my buddy Third Floor Wars didn't get nominated. I think it's a great podcast. I think Gaming and BS was somebody I think submitted us. I think VC might have done that. I don't know if it needs to come from the people who produce it. Probably not. Not a big deal. But I think in the podcast, they should just call it like media category, maybe, or just have more than just podcast. And I only say that because, well, I'm partial, right? Or biased. But there's different things to judge a podcast on. So you have like even EN World does their, Morris and those guys go through like nominate your favorite podcast actual play, nominate your favorite commentary podcast, and then people can vote on it. Great. So I think there should be 2 categories because they're vastly different. I think both contribute to the hobby. And then, I think hopefully if you listen to this or if they're judging, there should be certain criteria. So it's like, is the sound quality good? Production value, what have you? Is it relevant? How relevant is it? Ken and Robin, good guys, definitely RPG enthusiasts, well-known publishers and designers. Ken and Robin talk about stuff. They don't call it Ken and Robin's RPG podcast, probably for a reason, which is fine. But they just every year they're getting an Emmy for a long time. As a matter of fact, they probably didn't get nominated only because they didn't submit it. I'm guessing because otherwise they'd probably be up there. But they talk about like a lot of stuff that's not RPG oriented. Should that be criteria, right? And, you can do that. The argument can be made if Gaming and BS starts off the show and kind of friendly banter that may not be overly RPG based, because there was times when, hey, Brett, what'd you do this weekend? I went hunting in the great north woods of Wisconsin. That somebody could say, well, it's not all RPG all day, every day on the show. Now I'd say it's like, 10% of the show maybe. So I don't know. But it's good that these guys are getting recognized. I haven't listened to a lot of them, but 3 of them out of the 5 are APs. And I think one's got like 10 episodes. No. Did one have 10 of them? No. They got a few. Kill Every Monster? No. I thought somebody had like a very short run that gave me hope. But Ken and Robin love the sound of their voices. Well, maybe. We'll see. So, yeah. I also think they should have a video. Here's my just gut feeling. They don't have live stream video because they will feel obligated to list Critical Role, and Critical Role will crush the Ennies. Every year they get nominated. You could have a rule that you just, even for the podcast or live stream, they could have it like you can only win once. They're done, right? You can win a gold once and a silver once, and then it's done. Unless there's, I don't know, what if something changes? Dude's Hobbs got nominated for an Emmy. That's, dude. I don't think he's in the chat, but man, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Best production values: Barge Sung Legend of the Ancient Forge, Call of Cthulhu Classic Prop Set, Complete Wizard Chronicle, Beetle and Grimm, Xing Shi, Blood in the Banquet Hall, Star Trek Adventures Tricorder Collector's Box Set. I actually picked up that Tricorder Collector's Box Set from, I didn't pick it up and buy it, but I had it in my hands when I was at Adventure Games up north on a trip. I thought it was pretty cool. It's just a box, but it's digest kind of size, and I wouldn't mind getting into a Star Trek game, but So that's kind of cool. I'm going to kind of sweep through these quick. And then I'll let you guys go. Best RPG related product, Dice Carousel Kit, Everway Silver Anniversary Edition Deluxe Fortune Deck. Another thing that I don't know if Kimmy got nominated, but her tarot deck, which I cannot remember the name of it, by Golden Lasso Games. Honestly, it should probably, I think, be warranted a nomination. Decima. I'm going through the Ennies. I'm like, I think this should be on there. The R&D for your RPG, a tarot-inspired card game that helps the GM and their players collaborate to get together and create all the important details for their campaign, including key locations, character connections, and setting conflicts. So check this out by Kimmy and Golden Lasso Games. Kimmy of Happy Jack's podcast and streams. My understanding is it's out of stock, but they will come back in stock and then you can pick it up. I don't what she may want to, like, there's a subscribe here. Yeah, I would definitely subscribe to the newsletter so you can get an update. And when it becomes available, you snake those up. But that should be like any worthy. Because people that do have them like rave about the coolness of that. So anyways. All right. Things Heroes Say, a fantasy art book and phrase book. Yes, please. I would probably get that. For anyone in need of a pithy one-liner, a harrowing phrase, or a jaunty quip for their next story or role-playing games, this collection of fantasy artwork and phrases will be the ultimate resource for fun and creativity. Cool. I'm not one to judge a person solely on their appearance, but that woman looks like she summons demons. Oh, so they give you the scenario. When someone unknown approaches, here are some things. Cool. $17 for a hardback. Ebook is $10. Interesting. Things Heroes Say. I mean, cool, right? Cult, Labyrinths and Secret Chambers, Everway Silver Anniversary Edition, Deluxe Fortune Deck. That's what spurred my interest into Kimmy's, saying what Kimmy has. Vision Images, brand new expanded Fortune Deck. Interested? Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. Best rules. Colossal is in there again. Good Strong Hands. Haunted West. Chris Spivey in the crew. Alex Mayo is in on there. I know of Alex and Dennis Detwiller, of course. Ken Haidt. Misha. Bushjager. Yeah, so good for them for getting some recognition. No, that thing's a beast too, and that Haunted West I heard is just a huge book. Nova, again by Spencer Campbell. Rest in Pieces, Imagining Games. So very cool. Best setting, Colossal again. Eldritch Century Chronicles of the Wounded Earth. Historia, Dark Fantasy Renaissance setting for 5e. Jingxi, Blood in the Banquet Hall. Taldore. Is it Taldori or Taldori? Campaign setting, Reborn. Some Darrington Press, so that's Critical Role. I would be surprised if that doesn't crush everybody, just due to numbers. Best supplement. Call of Cthulhu, Cults of Cthulhu. Looked at that. That kind of looks cool. City of Mist, Shadows and Showdowns, Root. Sin, Aspire Sourcebook, Untold Encounters of the Random Kind by Loki Battle Maps. Some pretty decent, reputable sources there. Best writing, Colossal again. I think they're going to win something for sure. Dune, Adventures in the Imperium Core Rulebook by Modifius. Fate Forge, Tetralogy Box Set 5e. Cult getting some love. Rosenstrasse, A Story of Love and Survival. Best writing. Product of the Year. Big category. Call of Cthulhu Classic Prop Set, which was recognized above. Colossal, again. Dune, Adventures in the Imperium. Jingxi, again. Blood in the Banquet Hall. Odd Jobs. Putrescence Regnant. Root the RPG. The Troubleshooters. Thirsty Sword Lesbians again. And Uncaged Goddesses. It's Uncaged Goddesses. Let's close some of this and take a look. Okay. Uncaged Goddesses. Yep, we saw that one earlier. So, Odd Jobs. Welcome to your new career. Odd Jobs is a collection of fun, bizarre, and dynamic system-neutral settings to be used in tabletop role-playing. Each puts the players in a strange profession with fascinating bite-sized worlds demanding to be explored. There you go. That's a big category, I think, to take, right? Jingxi, Blood in the Banquet Hall. Did I click the right one? No, did I? Did Wedding Games, yeah. Oh, so it's on here somewhere, right? Book Whispers. Never Going Home. Okay. No, the funny thing is, Blood in the Banquet Hall. I know Never Going Home. It's recognizable. Blood in the Snow. Yeah, Blood in the Banquet Hall. Here it is. Oh, look at that art. Storytelling RPG about a Chinese family making their living by running a restaurant in one of America's Chinatown circa 1920. Despite societal backlash and anti-Chinese laws, they have turned a profit and their quality of life has recently improved. Night, however, brings a new terror. Players take on the roles of members of the Chinese family, spanning 3 generations who face threats of Jingxi, hopping vampires at night and racism by day. As players balancing the responsibility of maintaining their family business with protecting themselves in their community from the dreaded I'm pronouncing the crap out of that. Jingxi. This is primarily a game about storytelling. Combat is limited, but horror, drama, and sometimes comedy are the primary vehicles. And then it gets cut off, truncated there. This is a bundle. You can get all this stuff. It's $25 on drive-through. And the other ones we kind of went over a little bit. Putrescence Regnant. Yes, touched on that one. Again, keep forgetting the name. And then Root. Yeah, and then the other ones I know. Okay, cool. What do you think? Now you guys are a little more in the know, right? I would say. But yeah, it's not like some years you can go down and be like, oh, pretty popular titles, playing these games, bing, 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 bam, probably hit, 3 to 4 of the categories and, weigh in on. Typically it's like a game that I'm playing or have played, because I haven't experienced the other ones, so it's hard to really weigh in. But it's good that they're getting some exposure, right? Any award for people like Todd Crapper, never a bad thing. All right, see ya, Michael. So what's your top 3 picks of who might win Product of the Year? Good question. I would say, because I don't know, I don't own any of them. If I had to predict, I would go with somebody who's going to just get overall votes. And I think popularity-wise, which I can be totally wrong on, it's going to be... So here's the trick you got to consider. Yeah, it depends. Here's the trick you have to consider. How popular is the product? and how many of those folks know the Ennies exist. Where that Venn diagram hits, whatever that number is the one that's probably going to take it home. So if you're D&D and you know EN World, because at one point EN World was a lot of 5e, a lot of D&D based, like not a ton of other things. They've obviously grown and expanded and kind of evolved. I would say that, that's why D&D and Paizo used to get so many votes. So I would say, based on some of those details, you could look at maybe Modifius, but I don't know for sure. So Dune-ish. But some of these smaller print run games, like Root I don't know if Root, because they'll just come out of nowhere and get like product of the year and have, they'll get a gold. So Thirsty Sword Lesbians is probably overdue. It's got a lot of publicity. And I'm being a little shallow because I'm only going on what people know and publicly are aware of, and not necessarily based on the product itself. So somebody watching this video that's like, Colossal Solo RP Adventure by Nick Angel. Nick could, call me a wanker and, tell me to piss off because, I'm selling his product short because it's obviously decent art and, but who knows? His product's nominated for like five categories ish. You guys have a friendly pool going? Yeah. It's, who was it? When I was on the Mythwits, the two guys from the Mythwits, when they had me on there they had a movie bracket, blockbuster movie bracket. I can't remember what they called it. And they would do it like twice a year. And it's like filling out your brackets. So you had a pool of points and you could spend your points to basically buy that movie. And then for each week it leads in the box office, you get a certain amount of points. So, you would, I think when I was on the show, Age of Ultron or one of the big Marvel movies was coming out. It's like almost every year. But, it might have been Endgame. Before that, Civil War. Regardless, you knew that was going to be the biggest one, but it would cost you the most to get it, and then you wouldn't have any more credits to buy the rest of the pool. So I wonder if something like that would be in line for something like this, or you just fill out like a bracket, like a NCAA basketball March Madness bracket, and see if you win. I don't know what the odds are, right? It's probably still pretty hard to hit 100% for sure. Like that might be the thing. Everybody chips in $5 and picks the winners for each. In round 2, it's going to be here are the finalists. Oh, these are the finalists, I should say, right? We didn't even see the full nomination list. So these are the finalists, and then we'll see what happens in Gen Con. That's all I have for today, ladies and gents. June, on Monday, the Horror and Suspense with Bridget Jeffries and Caleb Stokes drops to the public on GM Mastermind. If you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, go over there and check it out. If it's something, give it a listen. If it's not your jam, that's cool. Just give it a try, though. It's my new show. I bring on a panel of individuals called the Brain Trust, and we talk about a particular topic. And hopefully it can help game masters get better at their craft and hone some nuggets of advice or things to do. I have recorded Jim Ingram and Phil Vecchione this week. I recorded them on Wednesday about session prep. So it's a good one. I'm editing that. That will come out 2 weeks from the 11th. So the 25th, if my dates are correct, right? If you're a Patreon, I release it relatively early, almost like a week early. So if you're a Patreon and you're interested in going that route, you can find it under me, Sean Kelly, or Sean P. Kelly, maybe. It's not under GM Mastermind or How to RPG. So if you want to go that route, that's up to you. But otherwise, do me a favor. If you liked what we went over today, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can get notified for upcoming videos and live streams. And otherwise, I'm on the gaming front. I'm prepping some Delta Green action. Probably do Sweetness for a couple, 2-3 individuals for the month of July, and then Impossible Landscapes will be kicking off in August. The game is full for August. I may have a slot open in July for 1 player for 2 sessions. So I may, one person I picked off, I think George, and then I found out I'm going to run Sweetness, and he's like, I already ran it. And so kind of, he's like, no problem, steps aside. P, Maddie Q, P. Or as I say to my dogs, pee. Let's go pee. There. Now you know what I sound like when I talk to my dogs. All right. Well, I'll let you go. And Forbidden Lands continues, though we've been off on hiatus because of summer vacations. So I did play Easy D6. Thank you, Harrigan, for running that, by the way. If you haven't checked out, it's an interesting game that you can pick up on drive-through by Runehammer Games. And if you aren't familiar with Runehammer Games, they're the same individuals that did ICRPG, right? Am I right? Right, for sure. Right. Very light game, D6 based. Like DC is a target number of 1 to 6 typically, and you got some boons and stuff. It's actually pretty neat. I like how they did it. So if you're interested in checking that out, by all means, I'm not prepped enough to kind of say, hey, this is my experience and this is what it does, and give you the full lowdown, which I'm sure there's other YouTube channels that have done it. But yeah, I thought it was neat. Very, I would say fits in the same realm as like the Black Hack kind of games. So the new Neo OSR kind of games. You guys haven't even seen this. There we go. Probably helps. So Easy D6 ran this past week, and then we're probably going to run it in a couple more weeks to finish off the little arc so we can get some gaming to go before one of the guys gets back from vacation. There you go. That's what I'm got going on in the RPG space. So, and if you want to hang out with a lot of the folks that were in the chat and the crowd, I'm giving you all kinds of calls to action. But join the Discord server. Some people are like, oh, watch the stream, join the Discord, see what's going on. Feel free to contribute to the discussion. We got folks that have been in there for a long time. We kind of know each other a little bit. Don't let the conversation throw you off. If somebody makes a jab at another person, it's in jest because we all know each other. But it's an openly, how do I put it? You can have opinions, but I encourage folks to frame opinions appropriately, so not to yuck on people's yum. So if it's not for you, that's cool. It's good to have opinions. We all have our own preferences, but just coming in and crapping on everything is not the type of environment we're trying to foster. So just something to keep in mind. But I don't want new folks to come in and kind of go, oh man, it's like, what's going on here, and have a hard time fitting in. You'll fit in fine if you want to just talk games and express, like, weigh in on different systems and things of that nature. And new games are certainly welcome to be talked about for sure. So there you go. You can come and enter through gmmastermind.com/Discord. That'll get you the link into there. So otherwise, I'll let you go. I kind of rambled the last 5 minutes here. Remember, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Catch you on the next one. See ya.